The days of just putting your house on the market are long gone. Our next guest says you really have to make the leap from being a homeowner to thinking of yourself as a seller to make your home more marketable. Cathy Jane Saffioti is a professional stager and the owner of Cathy Jane's Home Setting and joins me today. Welcome back, Cathy Jane.
Thank you,
It's always
Jocelyn.
wonderful to have you with us.
I'm having a good time.
Good. Okay. How big of a factor is staging when it comes to selling your house?
It's really, really important especially on with today's market. As a property expert, I can tell you that average just doesn't cut it anymore. If you want to sell your house, it has to be above average, and that's at any price point.
So that's how you really have to reach the buyer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you talk about three things, really important. LCP, what does that all stand?
Well, that stands for location, condition, and price. And you have to keep that in mind once you make that leap to being a seller. Location you can't do anything about, but you can do something about the condition and the price of the property. If it's in really good condition and it's priced well, the location may not be as much of a factor because a real estate agent's going to see the house, see that it's in really good condition, it's at an excellent price, they're going to bring their buyer through, and therefore location may not be a factor.
All right, so how does a professional stager like yourself help? What do you look for? What do you do? How do you advise people?
Well, basically what I do is to try to save people money by you have to invest in the condition of your home, finishing up little projects or whatever. But what I do is go in and tell you what it is that you have to do. In other words, get the most bang for your buck.
And these are things you have to do, not an option, you have to do it.
Well, yes, but I also work within a certain budget.
Sure.
Some people only have a couple $100s to spend. Some people can spend as much as $1,500. So once I know what that budget is, I can go in and say, okay, you definitely have to do X. But, maybe if you can later on do Y. But it's really important that you take the time to improve the condition of your home because average doesn't cut it.
Exactly. Well, interior, I know you look at the interior of the house, but you also look at the exterior of the home as well.
Exterior is very important. 85% of the buyers right now are coming from the internet. That's why photos are so important. Everything has to look really pristine because if it doesn't, what's going to happen when a buyer is looking on the internet, they're going to flip right through and go on to the photo that grabs their eye. So if your house, if your bushes aren't trimmed, your walkway isn't swept, bright, nice color on your front door, crisp, something that pops, that's going to catch that buyer's eye, then you're wasting your time.
And it doesn't cost much to paint your front door.
No, less than $40.
Exactly.
And if you go to an inexpensive store, it can be as much as $25.
The other thing you need to look at is your garage door as well.
Yes. Well,
the outside.
We were talking about that before.
Yes.
The garage door has to be clean also. And not only that, if there's any rot or anything, that's going to come up during inspection anyway. Replace the garage door. That is where the guy is going to go first. He's going to open up that garage because that's where he puts his stuff.
Right, now let's take a look at a photo that you are going to share with us here.
Absolutely.
And this is a photo of a home that you helped the buyer to sell.
Yes.
And so what are we looking at here? This is the kitchen?
This is the kitchen.
Okay.
Yes, it was in absolutely horrible condition. Had a very dated floor, dated kitchen countertops, dated fixtures, and they really needed to put some, kitchens are very, very important. They're still
It's the first thing I look at when I walk into a house.
Well, it's still the heart of the home. It's still at the top of the list. And you're right. Women specifically, because most women are the ones that do the cooking.
So we're going to spend a lot of our time.
Husbands also, though, but they go to the kitchen first. You're not the only one.
And so let's take a look what you did to this kitchen. Wow. That's a dramatic change.
The sellers were great. They replaced the kitchen floor, they replaced the countertops. As you can see, they took out the dated light fixtures, fresh coat of paint on all the walls, and it really made a big difference.
And the cabinets. What about the cabinets?
Well, all they did was thoroughly clean them. I recommended that they paint the cabinets out, but it wasn't in their budget. But as you can see, they didn't do everything that I asked them to do, but they did the most important things. And that property went under contract in 4 days.
Amazing. Well, what happened to all the stuff that was in the kitchen? Did you have them put it away?
Oh, you have to.
Okay.
Especially now, this was a photograph that I took, but if this photograph was online, you're going to be able to see the counter space. You're going to be able to see the exterior views. It's clean. A buyer in this price range is not going to miss that photo. That's one of the reasons why this house sold in less than 4 days.
So how much does a consultation cost? And what's included in your fee?
Well, it's $250, and right now, for the Connecticut-style viewers, I have a $50 coupon, but that's going to be expiring the end of August. So please contact me as soon as
and there it is, right there.
Yes.
And when does it expire?
August 20th.
August 20th. All right, get in on this coupon,
yes,
because
yes.
It'll help you and, of course, help you sell your house.
Well,
and
getting back to the consultation
yes.
objectives, what I do is I go and I take photos of the interior and exterior. And the reason I do that is so that the seller can see through a buyer's eyes what a buyer is going to see. I mean, when we're living in our homes, we don't notice the things that we're living with because
right.
it's a habit.
That's true. Now, if you're putting your house on the market and need a staging consultation, all you have to do is give Cathy Jane a call at this number, 203-988-6856. Cathy Jane, great to have you as always.
Thank you very much.